All right, here we are at my solar panels that I installed. I also installed at the same time an identical system at my dad's house across the street over there. I'll walk over there and show you that one too. But the only one in the video that I did a video 9 months ago is this particular one, because they're the same. I just didn't want to get too repetitive and put two systems in there that are identical. So this one I'll attach in a link to. This will show you the entire install and the kit that I used, all your electrical, your ground mount build. This is 16 panels, as you can see here. I'm just going to do a quick overview. Our main topic really is going to be what you have to look out for, and you really can't trust your electric company to do the right thing. So you got to really keep checking and cross-checking. I mean, that's just what it's come to. But I'm going to go across the street and show you that now. All right, now we have arrived across the street at my father's property. I'm going to show you this panel, just a quick glimpse. Then we're going to get into the production and where that energy went and how much I received of it. Here we are at the other panel install that I did simultaneously. Exact identical systems. I'll even show you the underneath area. Here it is here. Again, the link will be in the description of the full install. In case you're ever attempting to do one of these, it's a real easy process, really. Now we're going to go ahead and talk to my father about what his expectations were when he invested the money in doing these systems. We invested, between the both of us, we have about, I'd say probably 30,000 plus labor, plus all my labor. We had about 30,000 in all the materials and all the panels, all the underground. Yeah. All right, here we are over here at my dad's house across the street from mine. And he's 87 years old. He invested $20,000 into this system, and that's a pretty big leap considering the time it's going to take to recover that, putting panels in. So you really want to be able to earn your production right away, because who knows, at what age, it's going to take to recover that. But he was willing to do it. I invested probably 10,000 plus my labor and built them all. So how did it turn out for you all in all? I mean, were you happy with the install and how much money you've saved so far with the electrical system?
No, not the electrical system was great, but it would appear that they didn't give us the credit due us, and we're a little disappointed. Well, actually, we're rather disappointed. I think they make a habit of doing that, and it's something they oughtn't do. And needing two companies to okay it doesn't make a lot of sense. In Southern California, for example, Southern California Edison comes out, checks it out, and you get to go. But here, I think these two companies, or three, have an attitude that, well, I'll sign it off this month, and you can sign it off in 3 months, and by 6 months, 7 months from now, well, gets a third or fourth party to sign it off. Third party, I must just say. And the fact is, I think it's a disgrace the way they treat the citizens of this area.
To Mojave Co-op. Sometimes I like to call Mojave Corrupt because it's very similar. But now I'm going to go
Mojave,
back to...
What was that new name we gave them?
The new name was Mojave Corrupt. Yeah, it's more fitting, really. It describes the company better than co-op, because they haven't been real cooperative, I would say. I'm back at my house now. I walked across the street, and let me just show you what we are working off of and what the county approved and the Mojave Co-op approved in order to get the smart meter, because we have to have a smart meter before we can actually send power to the grid or receive credit. So they put the smart meter in first before I started to build this, because we had already gotten approval from Mojave Co-op. So I thought we had gotten approval Otherwise, I wouldn't think they would put the smart meter in. And these are the plans that we used. You can see they are engineered, and there's a stamped drawing right there, stamped. This was submitted to all the appropriate places in order for me to build this. So I did, basically homeowner builder. And I am a contractor in Arizona and California. Not necessarily an electrical contractor, but I do have a general and a concrete license in both states. So here's your structural part of it right here, of your ground mount. We've seen that briefly. You can always go to that link. Here's your electrical. So in other words, since we have this approved plan, it shows the electrical, it shows the gauge wire, the run of the wire, all the boxes that are provided with this kit. It's all to code, all the way through the electrical. So you would assume if you build something according to a plan that, it would be good. That's what I assumed. I assumed I build this according to this plan that's approved and engineered. I get the sign off. Here's the sign off right here. You can see it was signed off on May 8th of 2023. So that's one permit. And here's the other one for the other location. We have two locations. One inspector signed both off. We have the structural, the rough electrical, the panel replacement. We've got all these things signed off on both permits. So at that point, once it was signed off, I called down to the Mojave Co-op. I called down there. I said, hey, can I turn this on? We got the signatures. And they said, oh, well, we haven't got the electronic filing. And I said, oh, well, I can just take a picture of it and send you the permit that's signed. Oh, they electronically send it to us. I said, oh, okay, great. So I waited a couple days, called back, and I talked to Brittany. Brittany no longer works there, however. Courtney does. So Brittany said, yeah, go ahead and turn that electric on. We received a copy of your signed off permit. So I turned everything on. 9 months later, I get a call from Mojave Co-op. They said, oh, you have not been receiving any credits. And it's been running the whole time. So I said, well, then you've been reselling my electric, reselling it, and I'd like to get a credit for it all, since I've been producing it. Even though they don't give me full credit of what they would resell it at, I would get, 50 cents on the dollar. And I was fine with that, or even 30 cents on the dollar. As long as I got something, would have been fine. Because that was a large investment to absorb, to go through all this, but I got zero. And they said, you're not going to get any. And I said, well, why not? You have a smart meter on there. Let me show you the smart meter. All right, so now I'm outside. I'm about ready to look at the meter. These are the smart meters that they install prior to hooking up solar or any other alternative energy source, and use their lines. So basically, these smart meters are nice because what they do is they come in when they land them, they start at zero. They don't count backwards and they can't reset. And there's 3 numbers on here. If you see, there's 3 numbers, and let me just show you how that works. Okay, you see that 15,581? That's one of the numbers that you'll need to remember. And then there's going to be three different numbers that pop up. Here's the second number, 3,426. So that number is what I actually used in these 9 months. There's the kilowatts I've actually used. Now here's your total. So there's 3 sets of numbers there. 15 is what's went through, 12,000 what was produced. So I actually only had to purchase the balance between 12,000 and 15 is what, this is what I actually used in the 9 months right here. So basically I've been paying full price. I didn't really realize because I hadn't lived out here, so I had no concept of the cost of electrical. So I thought, well, I must be saving money because, everything's on. 9 months later, they called me and said, oh, you're not getting credits. This, you haven't got the final signature. And then I thought, I said, well, what is the final signature? A licensed electrician apparently has to sign off on this, even though it's all here. And the inspector looked at it, and the electric company even sent someone out here to look at it. But the one thing lacking was a signature from an electrician, which I mean, but it had been producing for 9 months. They've been gobbling up that energy and reselling it. And that was okay though. But it's not okay to give me the money back, even though they sure didn't mind taking it though. So I just don't think that's right. They should have told me to turn it off instead of just letting it run. How about wraps it up? I mean, it's frustrating. So these are the things you're going to have to be concerned with. I don't know how your electric company operates in your area, or if anybody else has some stories about what they've encountered dealing with an electric company. As far as going green goes, you hear a lot about go green, do all this. When you try to do what you can, there's entities that are not they're not very cooperative. You might say that, so it makes it very challenging to be able to be self-sufficient when the goal to me would seem like it's all about profits when you're dealing with an electric company. To see everyone go green wouldn't be very profitable. So that's why it's so difficult, I think, to do something like this. At least that's how it is here with my electric company. I don't know about your electric company where you work or what you've dealt with, but if you got any good stories, I'd like to hear them, and I think everybody else would too. Anyway, have a good day, and thanks for watching.